Ladies and gentlemen, IEEE members, on behalf of the House IEEE ESPRIT Student Branch, I would like to welcome you to our online session IEEE Maester. Your presence honors us. To start with, regarding our last session with Aymen Tmar, the Young Professionals Affinity Group Chairman, I wish you all had a sneak peek. But for today, and make sure that our IEEE knowledge can reach the shore safely, we have the pleasure to host our dear Salim Ben Hassine. He's a co-founder of IEEE ESPRIT Student Branch back in 2017. He's actually a software engineer at Veamly and currently holds the position of Student Branches Coordinator inside the SAC Tunisia. So Salim, إليك الكلمة.
Merci Osama. Donc اليوم ما نعرفش est-ce que vous préférez معناها نحكيو بالعربي ou bien نحكيو en anglais comme vous voulez.
Pour le moment, the non-Tunisians مازالوا ما دخلوش, so نتصور نجمو نحكوا الناس الكل بالدارجة.
اوكي ça marche. دونك اليوم باش نحاولوا نحكيو قبل كل شيء شنو ما شنو هي IEEE، شنو هي IEEE Benefits، شنو معناها انت كممبر في اي ستودنت برانش ان تونيزيا ولا حتى برا من تونيزيا شنو تنجم تفيدك IEEE. اون كونتر بارتي كيف باش نحكيو على المانجمنت اسبيكت اوف IEEE، the tools، the resources that you can access، الحكايات اللي نجموا فريمون ينفعوك اون طونك ستودنت ممبر والا حتى من بعد ستودنت ممبر اون طونك جراديويت ولا اون طونك از بروفيشنال. قبل كل شيء معناها كيما قدم لكم اسامه جو مي بريزونت بن حسين سليم. دونك member co-founder member في IEEE ESPRIT. بعد وليت I represent student activity committee as student branches coordinator. I'm software engineer في Veamly. and قبل هذا كل معناه قبل ما نبداو في البينيفيت اكسيتيرا ماذا بينا نحكيو شويه على سيكوا معناها ساك تونيزيا كوم كوميتي، خاطر بالنسبه لبرشا ستودنت ممبرز في تونس ولا حتى ان IEEE ان جنرال ما برشا منهم ما يعرفوش شنو هي النوسيون معناها بتاع الساك كوميتي. دونك باش نبدا فيسا نحكي عليها. لحظه برك نبارتاجي l'écran. Donc IEEE SAC تونيزيا هي كوميتي تلم students and young professional اللي مازالوا كي خرجوا يا اما students في اخر الفاز معناها نتاعهم اللي هما students كانوا اكتيف في student branches وفريمون معناها خذاو الاكسبيريونس نتاع IEEE وعندهم some a little bit of expertise في IEEE. وينجم يكون ستودنت هذاك مازال كيف كمل ستودنت اكسبيرينس نتاعو باش ينجم كيما نقولوا يعطي ما عنده بالنسبه للستودنت برانشز، ستودنت برانش شابترز اكسيتيرا، ياسيستي للستودنت برانش، ياسيستي لي ممبر، يكون هو فريمون معناها يعطي الليد نتاعو لكل ستودنت ممبر. في بالنسبه لتونس عندنا ستودنت اكتيفيتي كوميتي تونيزيا اللي تحت تونيزيا سيكشن اللي هي فيزافي نتاع الستودنت ممبرز ان تونيزيا. فما كيف في الريجيون 8 فما ستودنت اكتيفيتي كوميتي اللي تلم تتلهب توسكي ستودنت اكتيفيتيز في الريجيون 8. فما other sections معناها اللي عندهم كيف student activity committees. فما اللي لا فما ال student activity committee of IEEE اللي هي فريمون تتلهي ال student members في IEEE الكل. Donc, our mission is to deliver a common high-quality IEEE student member experience globally for lifelong professional success through IEEE. Our vision is to be recognized as the global platform to inspire, enable, develop, and support students as the future leaders of our profession. Donc, IEEE SAC Activity Committee in Tunisia تلم مش لي ممبر هذوما برك بون برينسيبالمون إكرام توير اللي هي تشير كوميتي، فما علي عبد الله اللي هو student representative، فما student branch coordinator me and أسامة فيتوري. aussi بالنسبة لأميمة student branch chapters coordinator هي اللي هي بالشابترز. وعندنا كيف أحمد اللي هو اللي هي بتسكي معناها media and communication. دونك الكوميتي مازلت براتيكمون جديدة، بدينا نخدموا en 2019. بدينا مع quelques activités معناها في كل plusieurs أنا assisted معناها we assisted multiple activities in multiple student branches in Tunisia and includes elections, assisting them in election processes, including some events, local events in the student branches ولا national events كيما ال TSYP. كنا en fait co-organizers في TSYP. All the challenges and activities related to the competition في TSYP. Donc it was part of SAC mission to make it happen. خدمنا along معناها لينيك بالنسبة للسنة، وإن شاء الله قاعدين نخدموا مع لينيزو لينيك for the next TSYP edition. Donc هذوما just some photos from our like activities and meeting and all of that. So that's the committee. Donc the goal is to assist as much as possible all the IEEE members in Tunisia. Anyone like who have an issue within his student branch or outside as an officer, as a student member, as a chapter member, or anything, he can like directly contact us. عنا الباج فيسبوك متاعنا، عنا الساك ايميل اللي هو المين channels for communication. Donc it's sac.tn@ieee.org. Anyone could contact us at any time. Donc thank you for this small presentation. بالنسبة للساك إن شاء الله كان كل شيء واضح. If anyone like have a question or anything, he can like ask apropos SAC before moving to something else.
شكون عنده كيستيون في البوان هذه يا جماعة؟ أبروبو ساك كل شيء واضح؟ بيه أوكي. أوكي واضح سافا. سليم أنا عندي كيستيون.
أي.
أبروبو نيكست TSYP اسكو معناتها فو فيزيوني ولا اسكو واضح ولا مش واضح الحكايه نتاع البارتناريا ولا كولابوراسيون انتر لي اس بي، اسكو مع مناول او بيان باش نرجعوا للتراديشنال معناتها كل واحد يلعب وحده؟
نو واضحه حكيت الكولابوراسيون. دونك we have two winners في لينيغ ولينيزو pour اللي هما معناها باش يعملوا the next edition of TSYP. They are coordinating together in order to start work on it, and we try to make this happen like in time. I mean, like just starting from now to avoid any like delays later and all of that. Hello?
Yes, so it's gonna be like last year.
For this edition, yes. For the next edition, normally we're gonna like keep the like coordination between student branches for organizing TSYT.
Okay, okay.
All right, so let's move on to our second part, which is like talking maybe about IEEE. Donc, so IEEE is a worldwide organization that groups students, professional, and multiple like industry. It helps to spread knowledge and like spread all like the technical aspect and the humanitarian aspect all along like their member or like outside IEEE as well. So for IEEE, you as a student or hello,
Yes, Salim, carry on.
is there a problem or something? Okay, so for IEEE as a student member or like later as a professional member, you have multiple benefits and multiple like things you can like have, and also you as a student or even a professional, you can give multiple things to the community and to the members in your like environment, in your section, in your student branch or outside like on a global scale. So for the students, that's mainly our part. We're gonna like discuss it today. So you have like access to multiple platforms. I would like to start like with the student like IEEE student website with which is like student.ieee.org, which contains like many valuable information about you as an IEEE member and some benefits, the dates of some events, conferences, and that. So, for example, this is the event place. So, for student branch, you can find information on student branches and like on a global scale, the where it is located and all of that. Sorry, I'm gonna share my screen like in a minute. All right, so this is like the students.ieee .org website. You find like as I said, all like related to you as student or student volunteer in IEEE, events, funding awards, and like even beyond IEEE, which is like what's next after your student journey and all of that. So that's the main like source for information for our like student members. Well, now let's. I would like to start actually by the managing part of the for any like geographical unit of IEEE for student branch or even like chapter or section or anything. So all of that is mainly managed like using vTools, which is a very useful tool from IEEE to do all of that. So vTools like is a platform that groups all the reporting part, all like the election process, sending like emails to all members without like caring from where I get like the list of emails. So it's mainly accessible by like the officers of the chapter or section or the geographical unit officer. So I would like to start by introducing the e-notice. So e-notice usually like I think many of you is familiar with it. So most of the emails that you receive in your IEEE inbox like are coming from e-notice. So the sender of that email selects like, for example, I'm gonna send this email to all the members, the student members of IEEE in Tunisia, or I gotta send this email to all like members in region 8, regardless like their grade, or I can send this email to my student chapter. So it depends on the access that you have. It depends on what position you have, and you can like automatically it selects which recipients you can send to. So I will kindly ask if you don't activate like an IEEE.org email. So that's a good thing to start with, and you configure like to receive all IEEE emails to it, so you don't get lost with your personal emails and all of that, and use IEEE emails even for professional purposes. You can like use it for applying to anything outside IEEE. So let's start, for example, as I told you like about the e-notice. For example, you're gonna like send an e-notice. So it's pretty much simple and straightforward. So there is create e-notice. So you click on it.
Salim,
Mm-hmm.
are you using headphones or something like that? Sometimes
Yes.
sound is not clear. So do you
Okay.
mind
So
please removing them, or let's see if... Yeah, sure. Thanks.
is it fine now?
Yeah, but
All right. So for example, like for creating e-notice, you select the subject, which is like mainly gonna be the subject of the email that you're gonna send. The priority, this one like selects how like your email gonna be sent. So for normal like e-notice, they could be sent like in a bit of delay the user is gonna receive them like in the next, let's say, 12 hours or something. But if you select, for example, it's critical or high, it's gonna be sent like not like immediately, but in few like uh, hours, let's say, or in the next like few hours, it's gonna be received by the recipient. So you mainly, for example, you're gonna send e-notes about, let's say, election. Uh, Now the part you select the recipients. So for example, you have the organizational units here. You select like which organizational unit you're gonna send to. You have the membership status of the recipients of the email. You can send even like to past IEEE members in that organizational unit. You select the member grades who are going to receive it, and like uh, society affiliates or anything. Then you select from like which email it's going to be sent. So mainly it's pre-configured. It's enotice.ieee.org, and this email, for example, if I want, I send like the e-notices as SAC committee. I will not put the SAC email. So anyone who replies to the SAC email, for example, SAC10 at IEEE.org. The email is going to be sent there, and mainly the content of the email, along if it have an attachment or anything, and you write the content, and you just you can save it as draft. You can send it express if it's very crucial or urgent, or submit it to like be sent as soon as possible. So that's mainly like e-notice. It's not that much complicated. Anyone like can use it like with ease and send email through it. So that's it. If you have a question about e-notice, please ask. If you don't, like, we're gonna move to the next part of VTool, like other tools of VTools, and that's it. So please feel free to ask any questions.
Guys, this part is mainly about the secretaries of the chapter, so I would like to hear from you. There is Emir. Okay, go on, Emir.
سلام يا جماعة، سلام سليم. حبيت نسأل على الإينوتس قرآن مونبر عادي في الإترازو، معناها له من البيرو، له حتى شيء، معناها مونبر عادي. شنو قال لي in English. I will repeat the question. So for a normal member in IEEE in its SB, what are the benefits of e-notice?
For a normal member, he's gonna like receive the updates or notifications from the officers of that organizational unit, or the other organizational units that he's part of. So, for example, a normal member can't send any notice using VTools. This is only accessible to the chapter officer or the student branch officer, or like section officers and like other officers. It's, for example, if the Osama, for example, as he wants to send like a call for like an event that IEEE ESPRIT gonna organize, he will select like IEEE ESPRIT as the organizational unit,
and that email gonna be transferred to all IEEE members of ESPRIT. I hope I respond to your question, Amir.
Yes, thank you so much.
But as I said, you only can access this part if you are an officer in an organizational unit of IEEE. So let's, before moving on, is there any other questions?
Guys, if there is any question, please say. Meanwhile, I have a question, Salim. For example, I'm the chairman of IEEE ESPRIT, so can I, via e-notice, send emails to like all officers of Tunisia? I mean, Tunisia section or other SBs or something like that. Not just ESPRIT. I want to send something which is like, say, urgent to officers from the Tunisia section. Can I do that?
No, you can send e-notices just for the members who are part of your organizational unit, but not officers of other organizational units and all of that. So for this to have it, you just send an ordinary email if you have the officers' emails and all of that.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you. Sami wants to ask something. Go on, Sami.
Thank you, Alat Osama. Hello, Mr. Salim. I have a question about e-notice and precisely about visibility. So the question is, how can I control the audience that I can send them e-notices? To be more precise, when I want to send emails or e-notices to a specific group or entity or student branches, can I do that as a filter if things are clear? Can I filter the audience, that the people that are meant to receive the e-notice? Can you hear me?
Sorry, I have network issues, so
okay.
I understood
can you hear me now?
Want to select some of the audience to send to, right?
Or more precisely, if I want to send it internationally, if I have an event, and I want it to be visible internationally, or in the local area, Tunisia section, for example, or some student branches existing in Grand Tunis, si l'on veut dire. I'm sorry, I spoke it in French. So in Tunis, for example, if I want to launch an event, and then I want to people who live or study in universities or members in student branches that are located in the Grand Tunis, for example. So I want I want my event to be sent or visible by the people that are in this location. Can I use notice is there a filter that can make me control the people who can receive this e-notice? I wish that was clear.
Yes. So short answer, no. But long answer, it will be as I said, you only use e-notice to send emails from as an officer to your members. So if you are a chapter chair or secretary or anything, you can send to the members of your student chapter. If you are, but not even the other members of your student branch, which are not members in your student chapter. So for example, Amir, he's the chair of Computer Society. He can send the e-notice to Computer Society student branch chapter member in ESPRIT, but he can't send e-notice like to members of IEEE ESPRIT Student Branch who are not part of Computer Society. But if you, for example, you have an event and you want to promote to it like on a national scale for the Tunisia section scale, you can like just send it to Student Activity Committee, SAC, in Tunisia, and you're gonna like send it to all like student members in Tunisia. They have access to e-notice that sends to all members in Tunisia section.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
All right. So, is there any question or? All right.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Sami. I think we received the written question from Rathod. Rathod, can you please activate the mic?
Hello, am I audible?
Hey.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. Move on, please.
Yeah, so my question was, can society chapter chairs can have the access of VTool?
You mean student branch chapter, right?
Yeah, student branch chapter chair.
Yes, student branch chapter chair or other officers can like definitely access to VTools, and they gonna like for e-notice they gonna send to only the members of their chapter, and like even for the other tool they only access the tools that concerns the student branch chapter, the one that you are officer in. So
Okay, understand.
all right, so hope like everything was clear.
There is
So
Amir, Salim, there is Amir who wants to make something clear. Vazi, Amir.
Well, about e-notice for officers, is it, let's say, obligatory to, is it necessary to use e-notice uh, instead of email, normal email? I mean, if we use the normal email, would it be normal? Or e-notice is just to make things easier? I mean, my specific question, e-notice is to make things easier, or we need to use e-notice? Thank you.
all right, so for e-notice, it's to make things easier, and it's let's say a formal and best practice to do things. Like it's not like 100% compulsory to do so, especially like for chapters that you can like all the members, right? So you know all the emails and everything. But for large scale, for example, student branches and all of that, in order to avoid problems of, oh, I didn't receive the email and I didn't see it, or I'm not part of your emailing list and everything. So you go like straightforward using e-notice and you send it. But for example, you can use email for like more discussion and let's say agility for discussions and all of that. But for example, for notifying people about an event or election or something like crucial, especially, it's highly recommended to use e-notice.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So now let's move on to the next on the list, which is like the events. So it's also part of the tools. All right, so for IEEE V Tools event, you will have like mainly like all the events that's going on in your area. For example, it's by default selected like region 8 and Tunisia section. You can select like any section or any like region to find out what events are going on now there. So this part of seeing like the current events and all of that is accessible by all like student members or any IEEE members. They can like visit it, but the reporting part is only accessible for officers. So I think normal members can report, but some like parts of the reporting. But it's mainly for the officers to report their events in their like student branch or student branch chapters. So, for example, like if you see here in Tunisia, there is like some workshops and all of that going on here and there. You can search events and filter them and all of that. So you can search like as I told you by selecting like the organizational unit, search terms and all of that. But what interested us the most is the reporting and the administration of the event. And this is like something that is must to do for student branches in order to, let's put it like clear, if you don't report your event doesn't exist for IEEE. The only visibility like for external, let's say like other sections, the regions, region A, all of like on global scale is your events. So for example, by the end of each year, so you're gonna apply for an award or all of that. The main like selection criteria to see is how much events have you like reported and have you done, and how much like quality events exists on this like platform and reported. So for example, you can schedule a new event if you have, for example, next week we're gonna like organize an event in order to do anything, for example, introduce people, get new members. The event can be like administrative event, for example, even like a meeting, let's say officer meeting for the student branch. It can be a meeting for all the members, or it can be like an event that you organize, which is like a conference, a talk, a webinar, anything. So that's like the idea about it. So for the events, you have like all the detailed information to create an event, the category, technical, non-technical, professional, administrative. For example, all of the meeting and all of that for student branch or anything, it goes under administrative. There is also subcategories. For example, for administrative, there is an officer training or executive committee like meeting or anything. So for professional, you have also subcategories and all of that. So you select the correct like category of the event, then the start time, end time, description, other like information about the event, agenda, what you're gonna do, and the plan for the event picture, if you have a poster or anything, some keywords to make it like easier for people to search for it on the event platform. Also, there is the host, the organizational unit that hosts the event. Like you can select only the organizational unit that you part of for this, or browse like all the other like organizational unit starting from your like organizational unit. You have the contact email, co-sponsor name, and other like detailed information about the event. There is compulsory information that you need to fill out, but the others like are not like required. So it's up to you to fill up the required information and all of that. But the others you can like if you don't have an information about them, you just don't fill them. So there is like the registration and payment. If the people gonna pay to attend your event and all of that, the speakers, which ones, and the topic of the speech, and detailed information about the speech. Like how much people like attended and all of that. So, and you save and publish your event. And also there is report and filing for all events. So, but if after like you do the event, you file a report for that event. So if you have like, if you already created your event before, you planned it right here, you scheduled an event. After the event, you go under my event is already in the system, and you go from there. But if not, you're gonna like do all the stuff from the start in order to report an event that's not in the system. For example, if you didn't like schedule your event, you're gonna go by this process. You have mainly like the same information, the attendance and all. If you already like scheduled the event, it's loading. It's still loading. So from if you already like scheduled the event, you can go from that way, and normally it's gonna load. I don't know, I may have like network issue, and I don't know why it's loading until now, but that's the idea of it. So just you have to file a report for your past event, even if you didn't like schedule it on here. So that's the managing the event part. And as there is a known like code, if you don't report, you don't exist. So the reporting of events is something crucial for the IEEE organizational unit. So like even if for you, like by the end of the year, there is the rebate, and you it depends on your members and your activities how much you're gonna take money from IEEE to organize your next event and all of that. So if you don't report your events and you don't report the annual report, you don't get the rebate, and you can't like afford to make your next event, and it's gonna be like a lot of complications due to that. So it's a very like interesting and crucial part for you as an IEEE officer, and if you are a member and you didn't like find a report about an event in your student branch, you need like to mention it to your officer. I hope this part was clear, and if you have questions, please ask.
Thank you, Salim. Yes, actually, we do have here Fedi who would like to intervene. Yes, Fedi, go ahead.
Hello. So my question is, we as IEEE CSSP officers, we only had many online administrative meetings. So my question is, should we report these meetings?
Yes, an online meeting is like considered as a meeting, regardless it's online or it's an offline. So it's an event, and you need to report it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Fedi. Guys, if there is anyone who wants to make something clear, go ahead. As for me, Salim, I have actually two questions. The first one is, like for example, the PS or CS officers report their activities. Is that enough to? Because in the end, I think it's all under the SB, so it's all under IEEE ESPRIT. So we don't need to do like something extra on that. Yani, Secretary of the SB report the issues related to the SB, and the chapters officers report theirs. Is that right?
Sorry, Usama, I didn't understand your question.
Okay, I said the officers of the chapters report their activities, and the secretary of the SB report the activities related to the SB. So when, for example, Fedi, who is the secretary of the CS, when he reports the CS activity, I mean, we don't need to do something extra than that. So it's all under IEEE ESPRIT. In the final report, it's under IEEE ESPRIT. That's the question.
So for the question, if an event is organized by a student branch chapter, it needs to be reported under a student branch chapter. So for example, if it's from computer society, like ESPRIT Computer Society, it needs to be like reported under ESPRIT Computer Society. But also, like for student branch, it needs to be reported for the student branch. But if like it's a joint event between the student branch and the student branch chapter, it can be reported by both. So they are both like considered as co-organizer of that event.
Okay, but if in the end of the year, when we report the student branch activities, we do that also. I mean, we do the include the events held by the CS chapter. I mean, is that right?
Yes, so if they are like joint organization for that event, it can go for both. But for the student branch chapter reporting, like it's separate from the student branch reporting.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you for the answer. I have a second question about the last part you were talking about the reporting. When we schedule an event on vTools, do we need to file a report or it's not necessary? I mean, once we schedule it, that's okay. We don't need to file a report about that main event.
Normally, like you need to file a report to like put the how many people attended that event and all of that, and it will not like too much information since you already did the like schedule of the event. So you need like to file like some extra information from to report that activity. That's it.
Okay, that's all clear. Guys, there is no other questions. Okay, I think not. So Selim, yes, please carry on.
All right. So before moving to officer reporting, I think I need to go to voting first because it's a bit related. So voting, vTool voting. So it's like the platform where you organize the elections for your student branch, for your student units, organizational units. So it's mainly like for chapters and student branches to organize the elections from there, even like higher organizational units can access to it in order to organize election for smaller one. So for example, officer in Tunisia section can organize election for any like student branch or student branch chapter in Tunisia. And this part is accessible for the students just for voting. So if you are part of an organizational unit and they organize an election, you can access to this part and vote from this part. So for example, there is like the ballots, which is like the list of all the ballots that organized previously, and you have the ballot dashboard that contains like a full list of all like the ballots, including like current one, past ones, and you can like create one like starting from here. So for example, there is now, since there is elections going for many like student branches in Tunisia, and it's like handled by SAC. So you see like a lot of active ballots right now. So a lot of them actually. You can even preview them and see who are the officers and all of that. But you can't, if you don't have access to that student branch, you can't access and vote So that's gonna be fraud. So it's like accessible only by the people that are part of that organizational unit. So these are like the active ballots, the saved ballots here, and there is the past ballots that happened before. The past ones here. So that's it. You can, for example, start to organize like election for your student branch or student branch chapter. So, for example, if I select ESPRIT and select the template, you can like select mostly like everyone uses this template: chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. There is other templates, and we don't like use them usually. So you click create. And you enter like the information related to that. So the name of the election, the time, like time zone, when it starts, when it ends, the welcoming message for the election that it's going to be sent to the members, along like how to the instructions, how to vote, and all of that. The contact email and the candidates for each like position. For example, I selected the template of chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer, and I can add a new position and name it. For example, webmaster, add, and I can add the candidates. So you need to have like the number of the IEEE member number of the candidate, and when you paste it here and you do verify, that member information gonna load like automatically, and you can put any details for that member here, so the voters can see that. So you add candidates, candidate 1, 2, 3, and for each, you do that for each position. And the best part of this is that you can load the voters list automatically for your student branch or your student activity, like student branch chapter or student unit. So you just click load, and it's gonna be loaded automatically, and you can no one like can say like except he can like he's part of this list can access to the vote. If he is not like an ESPRIT member, he cannot access to the vote, even like if he changes from like being in other student member in other like student branch to change his like university to ESPRIT, he can't access this because like the voter list is already loaded. So I have like 137 voters from ESPRIT that they only these can like vote on this election, and I send like the election details only to them. So I'm not gonna like activate this ballot. So just, for example, I can save it as a draft, and I didn't enter the name, so let's just cancel this. Or like Osama as a chair can be mad at me before for opening an election, so I canceled it. All right, so you can talk, Osama. It's okay.
لا جست يقول لك مرحبا بهم اني تايم يا سليم، ما يقلقنيش بالعكس، سام في بليزير والله. معناها فما عباد اخرى تحرك وموتيفي وتحب. انا نعبر فيدي، انا نعبر. اما حاجه اخرى بويسكو اتس اكسكلوزيف الفازات اللي كنت ورينا فيهم توا نتاع البالوتس وكل، دونك اي ثينك ما تنجمش تشتري معانا ريزالتس هكا ولا؟
وات ريزالتس شبيهم؟
نحكي على البالوتس المحلولين توا، بويسكو نتصور اكسكلوزيف الحكايه، دونك ما تنجمش تشاري معانا الريزالتس بور لو مومون.
No, results are accessible only for the organizer of the election.
اوكي، يعني حتى انت ما تنجمش تشوف. ها
Yes, so other staff members that organize these ballots, they can see like the results, but for me I can't.
اوكي.
So after like just for that, after like sending and activating the ballot, you will have a ballot management screen. In that screen, you will have like emailing part that sends emails and reminders about the election for the voters. You have like the result part there. It's only accessible by the organizer of the election, and you have like other like things related to the management of the ballot. So that's it. All right, so that's like mainly what's this all about, and if you have question, like feel free to ask.
Thank you, Salim. Guys, please, we would like to hear your voices, so if you have any issue, go ahead. Emir.
Well, I will ask if after an election, can we add another position to the executive board? Like, I don't know, media manager. I mean, after the election. Thank you.
Sorry, Amir, can you repeat?
I asked if we can add a position in the tools for the executive members, or for the executive board.
Oh, okay. So this part, Amir, is related only to the part of the voting and the election. The reporting, the officer reporting part is another part that I'm gonna cover in the next, like, in the next part of this, like, presentation.
Okay, thank you, Salim. Now I get it.
All right, but you can, like, for example, for some, like, student branch, for example, if you have, like, you're gonna only elect, like, you have a vacant vice chair position, and you want only to do an election on that vice chair. You can open like an election only for that position. Just you do not use template, and you create like the voting, and you select add like position vice chair, and you only do the election for that position only. So that's like part of it. Is there any questions?
Yes, Salim. Actually, I would like to ask because I once asked the section if we can open during the vote. We can add other officers, other posts. I mean, other positions. They responded by saying that they only admit the four positions: the chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. We can't, for example, like add the program manager or something like that. Is that the issue with IEEE, or we can do so
That's
during
that's
during during the
uh,
vote?
that's that's part of the what can I say? That's part of officer reporting, Osama, as well.
Meanwhile, meanwhile the when you open an election, for example, like what's happening right now, for example, instead of opening four positions, we can open seven.
Yes, you can open seven. Yes,
We need just to
but
ask the one who is responsible for the vote.
yes, you need to ask the one who's responsible. Yes,
Okay.
but uh, like for us in Tunisia section, we only like hold count for the four main positions. Yeah, that's more than organizational criteria more than everything, more than anything else.
Okay, that's clear. Guys, if you don't have any question, we can move on. Apparently we don't, so yes, Salim.
I think currently we don't have like any like uh, international member in the call. So if you want like to switch in Arabic, it's fine.
What do you think, guys? كملوها بالعربي.
في راس ما يحبش.
Okay, let's continue then. For the officer reporting part. So for this part, you have the managed officer, and this part, what the part that you asked me about both Osama and Emir. So this part where like you report after the election, which who is like the chair or who is like the secretary and all of that. You can like end the mandate of the previous like one and add like which one like is taking like the chair position and all of that. So for example, if I'm gonna type ESPRIT here, I have all like the chapters, affinity, and the student branch. So for the student branch, select the organizational unit. So you find like who are like the officers of the student branch. So the chair, vice chair, treasurer, secretary, and the counselor. So for example, let's say we already did the election and we have new officers and we're gonna like report these officers. So we just like select, for example, for the chair, select the position. We do in term. I'm not gonna end your term, Osama.
والله عرفتك يستفيدني والله.
So you select the end date, for example, it's today, and you submit. If you submit, the term of Osama gonna be ended today, and you start a new term. And please don't report like multiple people without ending the term of the previous ones. So just like a quick note.
That's how it is. نخلعوا السيد ومن بعد نحطوا جديد، ما نحطوش على بعض.
Voilà, exactement. Donc, you can add, after like ending term, you add the officer, and the officer is added by the IEEE number. So if you don't have the IEEE number of that person, you can't add it. So when you just like type the number here, the information of that officer gonna be loaded automatically, and you select that it starts from today, and you submit, and that officer gonna be added. So that's pretty much it, and I hope everything was clear about your the point that you mentioned, both Amir and Osama. So there is like a request, a new officer position. In order to add it, so it's kind of contacting the support of IEEE. You type your name, your email address, your member number, your organizational unit, and which position you're gonna add, and why are you adding this position, and you send it, and they have like to the right to accept to add that position, to hear or decline your like request. That's it. So if you have any question, like, please ask.
Is there anyone from the officers who wants to ask about anything, guys? As for me, Salim, yes, I want to. You already mentioned to me that the officers who are actually in VTools are the ones who IEEE admits, but it's not the case for the IES chapter. You told me that we ought to call the proctor of the IES and add, because there is no, I don't know, there is no proof that there is that chair or that secretary is from IES, like that, something like that, I think.
You mean that there is no like secretary and vice chair and treasurer position?
I mean, even if we update the positions inside the IES chapter, the IES chapter international, I mean IES doesn't recognize them. We ought to call the roster or something like that.
Yes, because like IES has a different, has like has its own like reporting platform, which is like the roster.
نحب نسأل بون على حاجتين. الحاجة الأولى ليزيفينمون اللي يكونوا عندهم علاقة بالميديا، ولا خلينا نقولوا لي كامبين ميدياتيك، كما كامبين تكون على الفيسبوك مثال، ولا كامبين تكون على انستغرام. اسكو نجموا نحسبوها ايفنت ونريبورتوا عليها ولا لا؟ هذه حاجة. ثاني حاجة ليزيفينمون اون لين كيفاش نريبورتوا عليه؟ شنو هما لي كاتيجوري اللي نجمو نريبورتو عليه. ثالث حاجة وقت اللي أصلا وقت اللي نريبورتو مثال نقولو تشابتر، شنو هي الحاجات اللي نجم يريبورتي عليها بالضبط، شنو هما لي كاتيجوري دي زيفانت اللي نجم يريبورتي عليهم بالضبط.
alright دونك امير بالنسبه للريبورتينج نتاع لي زيفينمون تنجم تريبورتي مهما كان التيب نتاع ليفينمون صار بالنسبه للستودنت برانش شابتر ولا ستودنت برانش ميتينج ادمنستراتيف event competition anything you can report it. So like any type of event you can report it. For other questions can you repeat them please?
جيست باش نرجع حتى للكيستيون الاول، اي ايفنت المشكله اللي باي مثال نحبوا نعملوا ان كامبين ميدياتيك، خدمه على الميديا، خدمه تكون مثال البرودوي نتاعها الكل ماهيش كومبيتيسيون ماهيش مش عارف ايفنت، مي تكون كامبين على الميديا، كامبين على الفيسبوك مثال على بريود معينه، مثال نخرجوا البرودوي نتاعنا في الفيسبوك مثال. اسكو وقت باش نجو نريبورتوها هما فما دي كاتيجوري نتاعين ريبورت، يقولوا لك انا وقت اللي تريبورتي حاجه يقولوا لك اسكو تريبورتي ميتينغ تكنيكال ولا مش عارف شنو هي التيب بالضبط نتاع نتاع كامبين ميدياتيك. والكيستيون الاخر خلينا نكونوا اشمل،
It's more بالنسبه للكيستيون هذايا it's more membership development like event something related to that, not like it's related to membership development.
ما فهمتكش.
بالنسبه للكاتيجوري نتاع معناها الكامبين اللي تعمل فيها سي بلوس كو ممبرشيب ديفلوبمنت، معناها انت باش تبروموتي الاكتيفيتي نتاعك، باش تبروموتي الشابتر نتاعك على السوشيال ميديا اكسيتيرا to attract people to your student branch chapter, to attract people to your student branch and all of that. So it's membership development.
وي اوكي. دونك فما كاتيجوري ممبرشيب ديفلوبمنت في الفيتولز في الريبورت نتاع الايفنتس تاع الشابتر هيك ولا؟
نورمالمون وي.
شنو هما لي كاتيجوري اون جينيرال ولا اي نوع نتاع ايفنت اي مجهود يتعمل نجم نريبورتو عليه حسب ما فهمت هيك؟
مش اي مجهود مي سي كيلك شوز اللي تنجم تريبورتيها، معناها اون اكتيفيتي جينيرال يا اما تكنيك ou bien une activité non technique ou bien une activité administrative. هذوما les trois grandes catégories اللي معناها تنجم تريبورتي عليهم pratiquement. The others معناها for example some member doing some task is not like a real event.
اوكي فهمت.
بالنسبه للاخرين شكون مازال عنده كيستيون يا جماعه؟ باهي من وايل مادام كان فما حد اخر باش يسال سليم، عندي دو كيستيون. هو مش على الفيتولز اما بلوتو حبيت نثبت اسكو الاوردز مثلا نتاع تونيزيا سيكشن او بيان نتاع ريجن 8 او بيان نتاع الاي دبليو اي جلوبال، اسكو تمشي سولون شنو موجود على الفيتولز ولا شنو هما لي كريتير بالضبط؟ نحكي على الاوردز انديف او بيان او نيفو نتاع الستودنت برانش.
بالنسبه للوردز اون جينيرال it depends معناها من الوورد و it depends من السيلكتنج كوميتي شنو هما الكرايتيرياز نتاعهم. تنجم تكون حكايه ريليتد ببروجيكت ولا something معناها unrelatable to VTool
كيما تنجم تكون for example حكايه that they require معناها في الكرايتيريا نتاعهم انهم يفيريفيو الفيتور سواء sorry so they gonna for example check the student branch annual reports if everything like is clear there and it's active and all of that. They're gonna check like the events reporting and the events that that student branch did and all of that. They can check also the officer reporting if everything like is cool there, everything is following IEEE like bylaws and all of that. So also they may check the organization unit analytics, how much members like new members joined that student branch, how many left, how many like active, how many past members, how many members are members in chapters, and all of that. So all these data like can be like part of the selection process.
Okay, thank you. Last question. حسب ما لاحظنا في التي اس بي بي الفيت فما دي اس بي بورتو عندهم نمبر معناتها نتاع ممبرز اما ما نعرفش شكون حرمهم في بالي السكشن حرمتهم باش ما يفوتوش معناتها ما عندكش الحق تفوت في الالكسيون نتاع الاورغانيزاسيون نتاع ليديسيون اللي بعدها علاش هذيك؟
Because they didn't report their annual report.
معناتها مش تاغم نتاع نمبر هما عندهم شويه ممبرز.
No, they was like asked to send their annual report and send what their activity have been like through all the year and all of that. And in the challenges like preparation, we discussed it many times. Like if you don't report, you are not going to be eligible for voting, and it was a criteria there. So that's why they couldn't vote in that selection. And we did like ask multiple times and send all the reminders for them to submit, and they didn't. So it's their fault.
اوكي سو هوب السنه الناس الكل تبعث خاطر بالرسمي حاجتنا بالعباد الكل باش تفوتي سينو تي اس بي مازال في الدات نتاعها ما فماش شونجمون
Until now, yes, but it depends on like the COVID-19 status from here until like next December.
اوكي واضح. الاخرين اللي عنده كيستيون يسال تو بون كملنا راه شكون مازال عنده كيستيون فادي فازي فادي
سلام. السؤال نتاعي هو تو عمل حديث الفيتولز باش نريبورت مثلا حاجه في الادمنستريتيف فما في السب كاتيجوري فما اوفيسر تريننج اش معناها هيك؟
C'est pratiquement c'est formation pour les membres. Pour les officers. Par exemple, un événement pour une formation à propos V-Tools, les officers de chapter de student branch.
Yeah, American. Thank you.
Donc, le partie heavy concerne l'annual report. So, بالنسبة للannual report كما قلت من الأول it's crucial to the SB, crucial like to the SB members. If you don't report, you don't exist. If you don't report, you will not get funding, and the annual rebate from IEEE to go through all like your activities and your events. So there is like a new plan. So it's technically a form. So the student branch, like chair and secretary and officers, like take care of reporting this. So the chair name, chair email, student branch code and name, student branch URL, student branch email, the operations and funding informations, the activities throughout the year. So these activities can be like easier to fill and needs to be at least accurate to what have you reported on the event part. So for example, if you reported 3 technical events and 2 administrative events in March 2020, you need to add them here. The goals, for the upcoming year, the signature, mainly the signature of the branch chair, of the branch counselor and the section chair, and other people who can validate your report, which are student activity chair, SAC chair, which is Ikram, section student representative, which is Ale, the regional student activity committee chair, and the regional student representative, which are the student representative and the committee chair of SAC region 8. And you just save and submit it. You can save it from now, for example, and add information to it later, or just submit it to final submitting it. That's it. So there is the saved plan. For example, you can start your report starting now. For example, if you have your activities and everything going on, you do the reporting from January to May, and later in December you save that report and you go back to it in December or prior December, and you continue filling it up and you submit it at that time. So usually for the annual report submission, it's in late December or starting December of each year. So that's it. And from this, the submitted plan, you can find all the previously submitted plans. For example, if you select E, normally we can find the spree here. And the report is submitted 1 year ago, and concerning the reporting the year of 2019, and you can find it normally. Just you can search by school name or search by other criteria and all of that. So that's it for the student branch reporting. So do you have any question about this?
Regarding this last part, we do only put the number of activities, just that, not names, not descriptions, just in March, for example, how many activities we did.
Yes, and normally the numbers needs to be accurate to the events that you have reported.
Okay, cool.
Any other questions, guys?
Is there any annual report, something like that? I mean, to the chapters or just the student branch?
It depends from the chapter. Some of them like send their own like email or notice for their student branch chapters in order to report to them. Some not, but it depends really on the chapter. But for the student branch, it's a unified process on Tools. Any other question, guys? Hello? Hello? All right, so just a quick note. There is also the member and geographic activity platform. It's mga.ieee.org. Here you can access like to many useful information about the benefits of membership, the volunteering part of IEEE, operations, also the analytics of if you are chair of student branch or any other geographical units, including like student branch chapter, you can access to the analytics of your geographical unit. You will find like pretty much all information here. There is also the IEEE learning.org, which is a learning platform, and it's the center of leadership excellence. You have Vault program. It's a program for like training for officers and future officer. Any like member and student member can benefit from it and can access to it. So it have like many useful like applications, and you get a certificate but by the end of the program. For example, you have I want to access to the training list. There is the courses, introduction to IEEE member and geographic MGA, educational activity, affinity groups, introduction to IEEE, standard association, and all of that. So these are like courses that opens on the 1st of June. There is a list of courses for officers. There is, for example, like what to do as student branch chair or section treasurer, student activity chair, student branch council, counselor, each role, like you find all the information about it. So it's like very useful platform in order you can like apply to it and follow the courses and useful courses from there related to IEEE, to the benefits, to related to volunteering as officer in IEEE, as like starting from student branch, like chair or treasurer, how to manage that role, how to get there, and how to do your volunteering like work, and until like courses about section chair and how to manage that role and all of that. So that's a good thing like to know and to do in this platform. There is the Explore, which is like related to the publications and the journal and magazines courses. The courses here are fully technical, and most of them are paid courses. So there is also books, conference, so all things related to publications of in IEEE are here. There is like Collaboratech, it's like a social network for IEEE, like members and all of that. You can find people from all like sections, regions, and other like geographical units, and connect to them and communicate with them. There is the Young Professional website that contains also very useful information, how like your journey gonna continue after like being student a member and an active student in IEEE, and there is like many like introductions and stuff to learn from that, and so like Aymen basically covered like IEEE young professional, since he is like the young professional chair in Tunisia section. So just like if you didn't attend his talk the other time, you can find it on YouTube and watch it again. So there is jobs.ieee.org, especially for the people that graduates and people that starting searching for jobs. You can find like useful information about how to find your next job, or resume lab, or how to sometimes webinars, how to create your resume, how to apply for job, how interviews goes, and all of that. So this is also like the e-learning platform. There is the recommended courses, as I said, like as section officer, or student branch officer, or student branch mentor, or counselor, or a chapter chair, or so. I really like recommend like following these courses and getting the most out of it, and that's it. Like there is a lot of resources, a lot of information. You just need to dig deeper and see what's best for you, for your volunteering journey, how to get like most of IEEE experience, and like learn more and create a momentum starting from IEEE and IEEE people. The most like important thing
you gain from IEEE is connections, is people, is relation with others, like as you are a student now or even later as a professional. So for me personally, like IEEE have done too much for me and gave me like even like professional connections beyond like my student experience. So please like feel free to take advantage and take most of your IEEE membership, and that's it. I wish all the best for you guys. So if there is any question, anything related to this, please ask even after the call. If you have like anything, just contact me personally and I will be like ready to answer you.
ثانك يو سليم. جست رومارك بركه في الاخر حبيت نعرف اسكو لا سي ام دي كونتيست السنه اسكو مازلت اوبن او بيان بوستبوند ولا تسكرت ولا كيفاش وضعيتها؟ اسكو نجموا نبعثوا بروجي؟
I think it's not closed, but the information related to dates, I don't have information about that. Like, you can like check the EIS website. Their information based on what's the situation now and what's it's gonna be later. So
اوكي ثانك يو سليم. ثانك يو ميرسي اللي قبلت الدعوه. ميرسي على لي زانفورماسيون اللي عطيتهم لنا الكل. سيتي معناتها انتريسون على الاخر. جيسبر العباد الكل فهمت دو كوا يساجي وسورتو لي ديتاي تكنيك الجماعه الاوفيسرز حاجتكم بهم على الاخر باش تخدموا فيهم. هذيك خدمتكم توا. كيما قال سليم سي فوز افي انكور معناتها دي كيستيون وفما بوانات اخرين ما فهمتهمش وتحبوا زيد تفهموهم هكا تنجموا تكونتاكتوا سليم اتو مومون راهو يجاوبكم وديسبونيبل والكل.
ما فما حتى مشكل. اني تايم في اي وقت مرحبا باي كيستيون نورمال. حتى الاربعه تاع الصباح ابعث كيستيون وان شاء الله كي كونكت يجاوبك عليه.
So guys that's all for tonight. encore ان شاء الله اللي كانت حاجه بينيفيك بالنسبه لكم. ميرسي سليم encore une fois وان شاء الله في فرص قادمه ما زلنا باش
اسامه واحمد
عايش. ميرسي بوكو. خلوكم توا يا جماعه. اني تايم مره اخرى كيستيونات اي حاجه ما تردوش. مازال عندنا العام الكل نتاع خدمه وان شاء الله باش تشوفوا حاجه مزيانه السنه.